Hi, I'm Kahler, and thanks for joining me. When we pass from this life, we will each leave a legacy. Regardless of our preparation, or lack thereof, for the end of life, we will indisputably leave something behind. That legacy will be both tangible and intangible. Now, most of us know that the purpose of a will or a living trust is to pass on the material things that we want people to have. However, few of us have ever given much thought to how we wish to pass on our knowledge and our beliefs. That is where an old medieval tradition, something once called an ethical will, is really gaining a lot of new ground. In those days, an ethical will passed on to descendants wisdom on how to live a life that was worth living. According to Susan Turnbull, who is author of The Wealth of Your Life, a step-by-step guide for creating your ethical will, today's ethical will can address a number of themes. These include your history, the values you may have, perspectives, feelings, explanation of your estate plan, and many more things. An ethical will address, or can address, really one or a combination of these particular topics. I recently took a workshop from Susan on writing an ethical will, and when I entered the room, the first thing I noticed were the boxes of tissues on the table, one for about every 3 participants. I heard one planner tell another, "This may be a little short on tissues. I've heard you really need your own box to make it through the workshop." I quickly sensed that this was not going to be the standard lecture on estate planning. After a short presentation on the basics, Susan reminded us to write a couple of pages, not a book. Maybe that was meant for me. Anyway, she then sent us to scatter about the hotel's beautiful courtyard and begin writing our ethical wills. Our first job was to decide whom that we would address our wills to. The most obvious recipients are children, but others might include spouses and partners, parents, grandchildren, unborn children, siblings, nieces, nephews, friends, guardians. I quickly decided to select my children, London and Davin. So far, not a tissue needed. The next step was to be clear on the reason why we were writing an ethical will and to compose our first line. Well, at this time I started hearing sniffling from a few of the folks around me. I began, "First, I want to tell you how much I loved you. Indeed, I loved you to Pluto and back." Maybe it was the power of suggestion, but I did have a quick flash of the sniffles, but it quickly subsided. Still, no tissue needed. Next, we were to express to the recipients our feelings for them, our love, and our hope for their lives. Well, give me a tissue, maybe make it 2 or 3. At the end of the day, we gathered to process our experience. Most of us had accomplished what we came to do, and those who didn't had made a significant start. None of us left untouched or unmoved by the experience. Susan reminded us that an ethical will is a work in progress and something to be modified and updated as time has passed. At one point in the day, I thought, I'm paying good money to sit here and write. I could have done that at home for nothing. True, but without the commitment of time and money to attend the workshop, my own ethical will would still be on my to-do list. An ethical will is a chance to put into words some of our deepest beliefs and values. Even more important, it allows us to let our loved ones know what they mean to us. As one participant put it at the end of the day, "Now I can die." Thanks for joining me.